Notification from the music laptop. Technical conversation. Göstermese.
Thank you.
So this can't be placed here or there, right? Only here.
Okay, it's this is oh my god. My god.
That won't just fall backwards.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying that it should cover a bit.
I know, but that won't just fall backwards halfway through.
All right, great.
As it goes. And now I have to go down.
Okay, great. Sorry. No worries. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony will commence in 1 minute. Please make sure that all phones are on silent mode.
Mesdames et messieurs, je vous prie de bien vouloir prendre place. La cérémonie d'ouverture est sur le point de commencer.
Signore e signore, la cerimonia di apertura comincerà tra un minuto. देवियों और सज्जनों, उद्घाटन समारोह 1 मिनट में शुरू होगा। कृपया सुनिश्चित करें कि सभी फोन साइलेंट मोड पर हैं।
Meine Damen und Herren, ich bitte Sie, Platz zu nehmen. Die Eröffnungszeremonie beginnt in Kürze.
Señoras y señores, la ceremonia de apertura comenzará en 1 minuto. Por favor, asegúrense de que todos los teléfonos estén en modo silencioso.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony of the London International Model United Nations 2025 will now commence.
Good afternoon. Before we begin today, I would like to offer some fire and safety reminders. If the fire alarm at any point goes off, please listen to staff evacuation instructions and meet at the evacuation point at the United Nations screen right across the front door. Please do so in a calm and safe manner.
Dear friends, thank you for taking part in this model of United Nations and for believing in the power of global cooperation. You are leaders in your schools and communities, and this is a time like no other for all people to raise their voices and engage in our global community. We are living in turbulent times. Our planet is burning, conflicts are raging, and inequalities are deepening. Human rights are under fire. Mistrust and misinformation are polarizing people and communities, but none of this is inevitable. Time and again, humanity has shown that when we unite to tackle our greatest challenges, change is possible. The United Nations itself is a good example. Since 1945, it has been the place for countries to unite behind global solutions to global problems. We need that same spirit of global solidarity today. And we need your ideas, energy, determination and voice. The member states of the United Nations recently adopted the Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact and the Declaration on Future Generations. These initiatives are designed to strengthen multilateralism and to actively engage young people in deeper and more meaningful ways. I firmly believe that your voices must count in the way decisions are made, strategies are established, policies are defined, and actions are implemented. And I have no doubt that your model United Nations experience will help develop those skills even more. Let's keep working to build peace, heal divisions, and extend a hand to those in need, especially the most vulnerable. The United Nations is your ally in this important journey. We will never give up fighting for a future of peace, dignity and prosperity for everyone, everywhere. And I'm counting on you to be a force of positive change to help get us there, and I wish you every success. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. Welcome to the opening ceremony of London International Model United Nations 26th University Conference. My name is Samantha Barra, and I have the pleasure of being the Deputy Secretary General for this edition of LIMUN UC. I am beyond delighted to welcome you all to the 26th edition of the conference. Back at this iconic venue, with the first ever United Nations General Assembly took place in 1946. We look forward to a weekend with excitement, progressive engagement, and reflection of the past, present, to build the future. With that being said, esteemed guests, LIMUN is proud to welcome attendees from over 70 countries, presenting a plethora of nationalities from across the globe, some of which are hung at the balcony for you. In the parade of flags procession, we celebrate the Secretariat's diversity with 8 nationalities represented. Conference 2025. Thank you very much. Now it's my honor to invite the Secretary of LIMUN 2025. Undersecretary General for Academics, Schiller. Undersecretary General for Chairing, Mr. Gabriel Alsamora Bakher. Undersecretary General for Communications, Ms. Emma Sankha. Undersecretary General for Delegate Affairs, Mr. Lincoln Chen. Undersecretary General for External Relations, Mr. Peter Zakar. Undersecretary General for Finance, Mr. Alberto Marcia. Undersecretary General for Justice, Mr. Tanish Kadian. Undersecretary General for Personnel, Ms. Anna Theodorescu. And now, the Secretary General of London International Model United Nations, Ms. Ainhoa Camino Wakediso. Thank you. LIMUN has been connecting the world since 1999, and above all, connected to its roots, having been established in London. With immense pride, we please join in welcoming the LSE Kibakar presenting to you this city's talent. Thank you very much, Nicole, for performance fitting on this grand stage. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have now concluded the first segment of the opening ceremony. Please welcome our guest speaker, Minister Hong Soo Han. Minister Hong Soo joined the Republic of Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1999 and has since held key diplomatic positions worldwide. This includes serving as the first secretary at the Korean Embassy in the Republic of Austria, Counselor in Algeria and France, and Minister Counselor in Vietnam. Simultaneously, he played a pivotal role in foreign affairs policy, where he served as the Director of Human Resources Policy Division at the Office of Planning and Management in Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, as well as Director of Treaties Division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Beyond diplomacy, Minister Han has contributed to education and training, having served as Dean of Education and Training at the Korean National Diplomatic Academy as an academic visitor at SOAS, playing an active role in strengthening the future generation of diplomats. He currently serves as a Minister and Deputy Chief of Mission for the Embassy for the Republic of Korea in the UK and the Permanent Mission to the International Maritime Organization. Mr. Han, the floor is now yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. Thank you for all your attendance here today. I'm glad to see such interest. I'm Minister Sung Han, the Deputy Chief of the Mission at the South Korean Embassy in London. As I began my career as a Korean diplomat back in 1996, and now have this wonderful opportunity to work in London. Every day, there are events where I think to myself, good job, Sung. You realized your dream of your younger days. And today is yet another such event. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the organizer of this LIMUN Diplomacy Conference for their kind invitation. And I'm very pleased that today's conference allowed me to share my views on multilateralism and also my experience in diplomacy with you all. Since this is a UN event, let me start with a few words in honor of former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. And he spoken at today's event instead of me, I'm sure that it would have been much more competitive to get in my role at the Korean Embassy in London. I have a personal honor of receiving him 3 times since April last year. Without exception, his presence is the most valuable asset to ensure the success of any occasion. However, I have a memory of his activity with Ban Ki-moon that you will not know about. You see, I knew him before he became Secretary General of the UN. When I began my career in 1996, he was already a famous diplomat known for his outstanding capability. Over the course of a decade, he successfully served 3 totally different Korean presidents as diplomatic lead advisor, vice foreign minister, and then foreign minister. That was in itself a miracle, given the somewhat dynamic and volatile nature of Korean domestic politics. His public image was that of a diplomatic or bureaucratic genius. To me, he was closer to a realistic strategist like Henry Kissinger than to a charismatic diplomatic leader on the international stage. Therefore, when I first heard about his candidacy for UN Secretary General, I must confess that I had a few doubts. His candidature was fully supported by the Korean government, and with the approval of 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, enabling him to be elected as Secretary General in 2006. That was a source of tremendous pride for all Koreans, and Mr. Ban fully merited the confidence of the Korean people. Our Secretary General will, of course, Secretary General made with some pushback, and he was no exception. However, he consistently proved his capability and his diligence, sincerity, trusted building on the basis of deep understanding and delivery of results. His anecdotes in New York or other diplomatic fora were akin to the legend from when he was the most successful Korean diplomat. I have every confidence that we all appreciate the many achievements of his firm from 2007 to 2016, such as the reform of UN institutions, the Paris Agreement on climate change, and gaining consensus on SDGs in 2015. Therefore, at some point, I realized that my earlier doubts had been entirely misplaced and that he was indeed the most suitable candidate for the post. And also, I changed a little my image of multilateralism. Now, I would like to return to the official question. How can we foster multilateral dialogue in an era of international competition? Frankly speaking, I always find it a little odd when people say to me, when we are entering an era of competition. This is because, as a Korean, I have no memory of living in an era that was not defined by competition. Korean parents habitually push their children. If you don't study hard now and do not become a lawyer, doctor, or computer engineer, or K-pop star, you will live a miserable life. Korean children cannot figure out what the real world looks like and have no choice but to believe their parents and internalize competition as a mode of life. With all Koreans having those same useful experience, we develop a national consensus around the competition and maybe a catch-up culture. That may be the key to Korea's journey over the past several decades, with a similar situation to be found in other Asian families in China and India. You no doubt be aware that the last half of the Secretary General Nan's term was just after the global financial crisis, when several countries were under the pressure of harshly restructuring. Therefore, I cannot say that His Excellency Nan's achievement took place in an era of international non-competition. Also at that moment, international multilateralism was able to accomplish great progress in spite of the challenges of that period. Perhaps the era in which we are living is a response to the previous period. I have heard it said that American voters chose US President Donald Trump in 2015 as a reaction to the internationalism of President Obama's second term, including the Paris Agreement. Sometimes multilateralism does not accomplish what we expect. As in other aspects of life, we may experience retreat in multilateralism. One such example is that of the UN Security Council 1718 Committee panel of experts addressing the threat arising from the DPRK's WMD and ballistic missile programs, which was disbanded by the veto of one of the permanent members of the UN Security Council, Russian Federation, in 2024. However, that does not mean that we have or can give up on the value of multilateralism. It would be akin to those riddled with chronic illness complaining about doctors. That is not a solution and will not aid the situation. In many cases, unsatisfactory results of the multilateral fora should be interpreted as the result of the flawed world in which we live, not of any failures of the multilateral mechanism itself. After the Second World War, countries carefully divide the UN multilateral system to prevent the possibility of a third world war, with the idea of eradication of war in modern civilized international relations, like John Lennon imagined. But just 5 years after, in Korean Peninsula, war had broken, and more than 3 billion people died. And after that, war continued in Vietnam, Algeria, in Middle East, Africa, and after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, Rwanda, and DR Congo, and now Middle East and Ukraine. Until now, the UN has not accomplished its idea, but that does not mean that now we have no other option but to give up the dream. We must do our best to tackle issues in the given conditions at the moment through multilateral dialogue. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your engaging speech and all the insights to your extensive experience. The audience now has a unique opportunity to submit any questions they might have for Minister Khan. I would encourage audience to not miss on this opportunity to gain insights from the experience offered today in the slide above.
For the time being, a question has been prepared for Minister Han. The first question is, given our theme is the pursuit of multilateralism fostering new dialogues for progress, what lessons can we learn from past multilateral successes in fostering constructive international dialogue today?
What can we learn from the past experience of the program international dialogue? It's a very difficult question, but as a Korean diplomat, I should ask, in my perspective, because South Korea was born with the initiative of the United Nations, and at that time, if the United States sent the Korean issue to the United Nations, that means Korean people should give up the unified Korea. So with that, so some Koreans are very disappointed, but that's the starting point of the South Korea. And at that point, the almost half of the world population not live in the independent countries. But the situation changed, and now, at that time, the UN, when the South Korea was born in 1948, and the UN now are totally different in the competition. So, the subject change and so the decision making is also changing. So it is always, if we can think about the all in the discussion, if the participant changed and the rule was the same with the before, then it is very difficult to make the result with the initial thinking. But with this constraint, UN have made a great progress, and still another and also tackled the new issues like the climate change or SDGs like this. So, for me, we should evaluate the progress of the UN with the real understanding of the restraint. And then we can tackle the current situation, and we also make some clue to further progress.
Thank you for that answer. So now we will be moving into questions from the audience. And the first question is, what do you think is the single biggest challenge that the world faces in the next 5 years?
I think at the moment, many people can agree with me. That's the new US administration. Yeah. Because still we don't know President Trump makes a new initiative and he changed a lot of things, but with the support of his own people, American people. That's the also democracy. So that's the reality, and we should understand what is happening in the world because United States is no more the same superpower country in the 20 years ago or after the Second World War, but still maybe the largest, the strongest country in the world. So now change is happening, but we should understand the reason and how to cope with these new changes. But for that, I would like to pose one question. Do you think that Trump changed the world, or do you think the change the world invited Trump? So we should ask that question, I think. In my opinion, three phenomena may invite Trump. First, global financial crisis. Second, Xi Jinping, China, who changed their direction from the long shopping reform era, and MAGA trend in the United States. The American people think that their leader should make America great again. Maybe because now, at present, America is not great anymore. So, if American people are not satisfied with the current situation and they want to change, their leader should answer to their people, and their leader do the right thing maybe, like all others, like the Korean, the leader in the Republic of Korea in the United Kingdom or European country or China or Africa. So we should accept the situation, we should interpret and we should understand American people and we should make the new trend. So that is the most important challenge that the world met now. And in the multilateral reason also, we should understand what the new US administration will do, and we will make a new trend and a new order, or we should try to make a new consensus.
Thank you for your insights. Next question would be, what is the biggest barrier to multilateral agreements in the modern world? Biggest barrier to multilateral agreements in the modern world?
It's really difficult question, but yeah, I don't think we can designate one or the other barrier for the multilateralism. But I think that, yeah, I worked in diplomacy for almost 30 years, and in my experience, I got an impression that bilateral diplomacy is also a little similar to work in the domestic in the administration. So in the military or like this. But multilateral diplomacy is a little similar to negotiation or discussion in the parliament. So maybe in the similar context, you can add what is the biggest barrier in the parliament, UK parliament discussion, or in the Korean National Assembly discussion. So it is very difficult to answer, and maybe I write down in my speech, that's not the specific elements in the multilateralism or the parliamentary discussion, but the world issue is in itself is very difficult. They are very, very difficult. So the process to find the solution to tackle that issue is also difficult. So we cannot define one barrier or the other barrier or the most important barrier for the multilateralism. Just we cannot imagine the multilateralism without difficulty. That's not possible in the current world. So we should accept the situation, and we should make we should try to find a solution, like our predecessor, like Ban Ki-moon or Mr. Guterres and other people. Thank you very much.
So how has your exposure to other cultures impacted your perspectives on international politics?
I chose my career generally focused on Europe because I prefer the culture, the European culture, and maybe in paraphrasing, I prefer European culture to Korean, my native culture. My native culture in Korean and Asian culture are too competitive and too stressful. But after I lived in the European country more than 10 years, here I found other difficulty. People express other difficulty in other contexts. And now, when I was born in South Korea in 1970s, my parents or my grandparents have experience in some underdeveloped country, in the least developed country. So they have a mentality of the new growing country like Rwanda. And my generation, we experienced the democratization. I explained my democratization. So in 1987, so it like the transition from dictatorship to democracy. So maybe Eastern European country experienced similar things, I think. So my generation have a mentality of the East European countries who overcame the dictatorship and move to democracy, and we should catch up this. And Korean young generation like you are born in the developed countries and have a mentality in the maybe in European countries. So actually, in my own country, I experienced a different culture. So when I moved to other countries, I experienced different culture, but that's not so strange to me. In many cases, so I said to myself, I should be open to other culture, other people. And when I worked in Algeria, or when I worked in Vietnam, their cultures are totally different. And in that case, there is a real challenge, not just to live in, but for work. And sometimes I should persuade my colleague, my capital, to understand the culture of Algeria or culture of Vietnam. And that was a challenge, but maybe if you dream of your career as a diplomacy on international organization, then maybe the most important factor, I think, if that does not exist, we can work just in online or telecommunication, but in reality, someone who resides in other countries and experience the culture and understand the people and then explain the situation to their capital. That is the most important thing in diplomacy, in my experienced in Vietnam, some cultural collision. That was the COVID situation. And at that time, different culture faced the COVID situation in different way. For example, European countries just accept the situation but do not pose some restriction on individual level. So, European countries decide to shut down all the shops or just open them. But the European country cannot control individuals' behavior. South Korea or Taiwan are democracy, but have a different idea on the relation between the community and the individual. So, South Korean government control the gather in the shop for people or put the mask or the obligation to get the vaccination like this. But anyway, South Korean government allow all the Korean nationals to enter their home country and put some restriction on the foreigners, but with some very strict rule, not to infringe some too much restriction of individual rights. Vietnam or China take a different attitude. They prohibit all the people to entering their country. So even Vietnamese citizens could not return to their home countries. So that's their choice. That was their choice to protect their people. And Vietnamese government persuade their people in the United States or in the European countries not to return to save their home country, because not to endanger their home country. Yeah. That's the situation. So it's the choice of each culture, but that's the choice of each culture. But the problem happens when the two cultures collide. South Koreans have a policy to receive people, and too many Vietnamese return to South Korea because there are a lot of Vietnamese who studied in South Korea, and after they found that South Korea was not so dangerous, they chose to return to South Korea, and then South Korean government had difficulty to receive so many Vietnamese people. But South Korean government has a complaint because there are illegal Vietnamese who expired their visa and then got arrested because of their criminal record. So in that case, the South Korean government want to send them to the Vietnam, but Vietnamese government do not want to accept them because of the COVID situation. So in that case, that was a big problem, and I should tackle the issue. And that situation, my colleague in the capital met the Vietnamese official to explain that was not good for the human rights like this. and Vietnam's embassy reported it to the capital, and Vietnam, the capital, the high-ranking official in Vietnam government, were upset because the South Korean government criticized Vietnam in human rights issue. So in that way, we cannot solve the problem. So I try to find some other solution. So and then it will take a long time to explain all things. But anyway, I try to explain that the South Korean government was not too harsh for the Vietnamese people in South Korea. And then Vietnam, my counterpart understood my explanation, and he also tried to explain the Korean question to his superior. And then we found some solution, and Vietnamese government exceptionally received 200 Vietnamese in the custody. So we escaped some crisis. So in my experience, that was the best moment in my career. So in the diplomacy, find a solution in small question, in my opinion, is very important, because if we don't find a solution in small question, then that will become a big problem. So generally, the individual diplomat cannot solve the big problem. Ukraine war or climate change. We cannot solve the problem. We have very little thing to contribute to that issue. But in small problem, we can change the situation, and then we can prevent the big problem. So I think, in my opinion, that was the best moment in my career. And if you choose your career in diplomat, I think you will be able to make those events. And then maybe the best part of my job in diplomacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you all for your fabulous questions. Thank you again, Minister, for joining us today and taking time for us and sharing all your insights from your extensive career. Please join me in giving a round of applause to the Minister as the board staff presents our esteemed guest, a token of appreciation. Thank you. Before we move on to officially declaring the start of LIMUN's 26th session, we would like to honor the member of specific LIMUN honors. Daniel Page was one of our two Vermont honorees honors on the first ever Secretariat of LIMUN High School in 2018, where he served as the Deputy Secretary General. He was a final year liberal arts student at King's College London. You would often find him in crisis committees in the circuit, where he was remembered for his humor, ingenuity, wit, and turning every crisis in his favors. In his memory, the LIMUN Foundation wishes to give opportunity for delegates who win the Diplomacy Awards at the LIMUN High School Conference by all of us, and his passion for modern UN will be celebrated over the weekend. The positive lives he had, the positive impact he had on the foundation, and all the lives of the people around the foundation will not be forgotten. Please join me in giving a minute of silence in his memory. Thank you. Delegates, faculty advisors, chairs, trustees, and friends, the time has now come to officially declare the 26th session of London International Model United Nations Conference open. This conference, as it stands today, would not be possible without the tireless work, vision, and dedication of our Secretary General. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Anwar Camino.
Honorable chairs, esteemed delegates, dear guests, family, and friends. Welcome to the 26th session of the London International Model United Nations University Conference and to the University of London. London 2025 marks the beginning of the second quarter century of one of Europe's largest and most prestigious Model United Nations conferences, and I could not be more honored to be serving as its Secretary General. From its start in 1999, LIMUN has grown to host over 1,200 participants from all corners of the world, being this edition LIMUN's largest university conference since 2020. Today, we come together to stimulate the most successful attempt of international cooperation that the global community has ever seen. Marking the 18th anniversary of the United Nations, LIMUN 2025 is an opportunity for all of us to explore new horizons whilst embracing the values of this leading international institution, using diplomacy as the vehicle to create a better future for all. We stand ahead of a great occasion to reflect, evaluate, and improve on the challenges that continue to present barriers to societal progress. Since its inception, the United Nations has achieved numerous remarkable milestones across multiple dimensions. More than 70 peacekeeping missions have been deployed in search for stability and long-term peace. A global standard for human rights has been established through the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Over 80 former colonies have achieved independence. Diseases like smallpox have been eradicated, and global agendas and treaties for sustainable goals have been stated. Undoubtedly, the triumphs that the UN has pioneered over the past 80 years are unparalleled. Yet, we need to face reality. In recent years, the world has seen an increment in the number of disputes and violence across all its regions, creating an unsettling trend in which humanity appears to have been forgotten. The human rights of many are transgressed on a daily basis, and many others are denied independence and freedom of choice. Contagious infections like tuberculosis
put an end to millions of lives annually. And diseases like HIV remain incurable. If predictions are right, 1.2 billion people could be displaced globally by 2050 due to climate change and environmental deterioration. Whilst the UN continues to strive to make progress on its multidimensional agenda, there clearly remains something missing. Our conference theme, the pursuit of multilateralism, fostering new dialogues for progress, is a call for trust building and revitalizing harmony. For long, the world order has followed the lead of one or a couple of great powers, pressing for a bipolar order that has tilted the scale by failing to consider the vulnerable and marginalized. Now, the international community has to step up to demand a more inclusive and balanced coexistence, opening the door to new dialogues and compromises which truly address the needs of all. This conference theme asks for each and every single one of you to entertain different perspectives, ideas, and meaningful conversations, to challenge the status quo, and to critically reflect on the flaws of yesterday, to transform them into the strengths of tomorrow. Even though this on its own is a considerable responsibility, I will encourage you to take it a step further. We're currently living in an era of uncertainty, for which violence seems to have become the default answer. It is unsettling to see the ease with which certain international disputes and humanitarian tragedies remain unattended by the general population, falling into the oblivious as if they never existed. It's appears as if, in this new era of multilateralism, different political agendas were jeopardizing the collective community goals that the United Nations once excelled to pursue. But today, I want to pose the question: what are the common shared goals that the international community is currently seeking collectively? In Claude Bern's words, the experimenter who does not know what he's looking for will not understand what he finds. And I will ask, what is it that we're looking for? What is it that you are looking for? In such a rapidly changing world, these questions may be daunting. Yet we must acknowledge that this is not the first time the international community has had to navigate uncharted territory. Back in 1945, we did the unthinkable by coming together to achieve international consensus and unitedly cooperate towards a shared common progress. Now, we must be appreciative of the existence of the United Nations and learn to exploit its distinctive essence to continue advancing towards global development. And in doing so, we must not forget to uphold the seemingly fading spirit of diplomacy. Because yes, the future may be ambiguous, but only together can we find a path to unpacking uncertainty and overcoming forthcoming challenges. For those of you who are here as first-time LIMUNers, you might have already realized that LIMUN is not like any other model UN conference. It is rather special. And no, it's not for our flag parades, nor our already traditional opening ceremonies at Central Hall, Westminster. It is this community, of which we are now part of, that makes LIMUN unique. Just 3 years ago, I was sitting right where you are, preparing to represent the United States of America in the Historical Security Council. Coming into LIMUN 22 as just my second MUN conference was intimidating, to say the least. The experience was unprecedentedly inspiring, leading to my return as chair of E20 in 2023 and as Under Secretary General of Logistics for LIMUN's 25th anniversary in 2024. It is my hope that LIMUN 2025 will serve as a catalyst for you to continue to come back in the years to come, feeding this community, which will hopefully grow to rest in a special place in your heart, just like it does in mine. Before concluding, I would like to make a mention to the almost 150 staff members that have been working tirelessly for months to make LIMUN 2025 a conference to remember. While it's only a couple of us speaking here today, none of us would be here without them.
especially without the 9 people who I have the pleasure of sharing the stage with today. My secretarial friends, and by now I dare to say family. And with this, I declare the London International Model United Nations University Conference officially open. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone. Before we disperse, I would like to state some logistical details. We want to remind delegates to be at appropriate entrances at KCL's campus by 5:45 so that our support staff can bring you to your committee rooms. Please note that this year, KCL entrants are staggered by committees. Please make a note of this with your ID card with a colored sticker at the back. This colored sticker would align with the conference handbook, which indicates what time for you to enter KCL. We strongly advise you not to enter KCL until 5:45 p.m. as KCL teaching sessions will still be going on, and this may be a risk of confusion for KCL students. When you arrive at KCL, King's College London, you will need to receive a visitor sticker in order to enter the King's buildings. So, we can enter you and register you for the conference. Support staff will be wearing black lanyards and have the best approach in getting everyone into the right buildings in an efficient manner. So please respect them and listen to their guidance. And make sure that the lines you form outside do not obstruct anybody or anything. And you'll be in your rooms before you know it, you'll be there. To find your rooms and respective building entrances, please refer to the conference handbook. You can scan the QR code at the back of your delegate IDs, and this QR code will take you directly to the conference handbook, which has all the information you need for the weekend. Please note that Bushos North, South, and Southeast East wings have separate entrances. Strand and King's building are both access to the Strand entrance. In order to gain access to LIMUN's 2025 socials, please visit the grand staircase on the ground floor of King's building from 6 p.m. onwards. You'll be able to collect a social response until the start of our first company session, which is at 6:30. You need to present a proof of purchase using the confirmation email sent to you by our payment portal, as well as a proof of ID. This is also a reminder that you need to bring your ID to tonight's social Vauxhall Arches file. If not, you'll be banned entry. Inspired by the huge success of gross sales in the past year of rhyming, we've decided to bring it back for another year, making it a random tradition. If you want to send a rose to anyone, during the weekend, you can do so with a message. This will be available at the grand staircase too. They'll be priced at 1 rose for £2 and 3 for £5. Further, you'll be able to pay by both cash and card. Thank you again for joining us for this ceremony and for being part of LIMUN's 2025 conference. We have a weekend full of spirited debate and engagement. Before we dismiss you all, please pay attention to your items or rubbish that you may have dropped near your seats. We would like to leave the historic building, as we found it. We will dismiss the audience row by row, starting from the back. So to avoid projections, please listen to the support staff instructions. We kindly ask you that you make your way directly to United Nations Street, right across the street from the main entrance. That's all for now. See you in committee, and once again, welcome to LIMUN 2025.